As I've traveled throughout the world, I've discovered that prayer is a mystery to many people. Billions of believers in God treat prayer as a religious duty. They think it's an obligation that gains the favor of God. They often feel a need to pray in a particular posture or face a certain direction. They're driven to do something to become acceptable to the God who is absolute purity. Yet, such prayer seems unnatural. Prayer isn't a religious duty, and it isn't a speech which we give to God. Prayer is communication with a holy God because we have an intimate relationship with Him, a relationship in which we know Him as our Father. I love my dad. Even though he was ill much of the period when I grew up, I knew that he loved me. He taught me so much. He was tall and strong, yet gentle and kind toward me. I always sensed that he wanted what was best for me. We talked freely with one another. When the other boys would bully me, he gave me wise counsel. When I felt discouraged, he lifted my spirits. Dad and I had a good relationship because we could communicate freely. I didn't have to change the way I spoke or face a certain direction or schedule a time to talk. He was there, and it was normal to share my heart with Him. That's the kind of relationship that God desires to have with you and me. When you have placed your faith in Jesus, you can know God as your Father because Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through me." When you come to know and love Jesus, when you become a follower of Him, you are given access into the presence of God. There's nothing that separates you from Him. He is not only your God, but He is the Father who loves you. And He loves you with an infinite and perfect love. When I was a university student, I came to know Jesus, and my life changed. Prayer was no longer a mystery, and it wasn't some method that I devised to get something from God. Prayer became the longing of my heart, the search of my soul. It became my joy in the morning and my peace at night. Some friends and I started meeting early in the morning near the state capitol building in Baton Rouge. We read scriptures and asked God to speak to us. He did. We talked to God. We poured our hearts out to Him. We knew that He heard us. That set a pattern for my life, one that has produced victory for more than a half century. I've climbed steep mountains and descended into dark valleys. I've seen the sun shine, the Son of God shine in all of His brilliance, displaying God's glory as He revived His people. I've walked through some of the darkest nights, and He's always been my guide. I can walk and talk with Him, and He assures me that I am His child. That's not abnormal. It's normal. Prayer is only a heart cry away. It's faster than the speed of light and more secure than Mount Everest. The only thing needed is a personal relationship with God, our Father, and authenticity when talking with Him. He sees our hearts. He knows our thoughts. He loves us deeply. He speaks to us clearly. That's normal Christian praying, and normal Christian praying is victorious Christian praying because we enter into the presence of the victorious one.